What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
That answer stopped the room, not because it was poetic, because it was personal. This is Keanu Reeves, the story of what he lost and what he decided to do with it. 2023, scientists discover a new antifungal compound. They name it after Keanu Reeves. Their reason? Devastatingly effective. A teenager in Sydney misses his chance to ask for an autograph. An hour later, there is a knock on the door. Keanu had bought an ice cream cone he didn't want, just to get a receipt to sign. And at E3 2019, 50,000 people watch a fan yell, "You're breathtaking," and Keanu points back, "You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking."
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
That moment wasn't planned. There was no PR team, no handler whispering in his ear, just a man who decided, in a split second, to give the compliment back. But here's the question that haunts this entire story. Most people, after experiencing devastating loss, become bitter, cynical, hard. Keanu Reeves became kinder. Why? That is the mystery we are about to solve. Let's start with the photograph you've all seen. 2010, a park bench, a man eating a sandwich alone. The internet called him Sad Keanu. It became a meme, a joke, a label. But here is what the photograph actually contains that nobody noticed. He had just finished filming Henry's Crime. The sandwich was lunch. The bench was in Tompkins Square Park. And the reason he looked like that? He was thinking about his daughter. She would have been 10 years old that year. The meme was not wrong about the sadness. It was wrong about the cause. That photograph is not a tragedy. It is a man doing what he has always done, feeling the weight, and then getting up and walking to set. Most people would have canceled the shoot. He made the crew laugh an hour later. That is not normal. That is the central conflict of his life. Most documentaries would now give you a chronological timeline of his grief. We will give you 3 sentences. Listen to how he says them. That is the most honest answer anyone has ever given about loss. It is also the key to everything he does. Sandra Bullock, who worked with him on Speed, said this about him in an interview. He has experienced a lot, which makes him appreciate the small things more than anyone I've ever met. He is present. He is a listener. He shows up. Now fast forward to 2021. Keanu is filming John Wick 4 in Berlin. The stunt coordinator wants him to do a dangerous motorcycle jump. The insurance company says no. Keanu says, "I'll sign a waiver." He did the jump, 22 takes, because the first 21 weren't perfect.
I went into the training at least 5 months before. The physicality, the martial arts, and then the weapon work. All the time that I've put in, I'm just better at it.
That is not ego. That is a man who has learned that the only thing he can control is how hard he tries. The rest, fame, money, even life itself, is not guaranteed. When most people lose control, they grasp for power. Keanu gave his salary away and trained harder. He turned inward, not outward. Now, let's separate what is true from what the internet invented, confirmed. On the Matrix sequels, he gave the majority of his back-end profit participation, tens of millions of dollars, to the special effects and costume teams. The directors confirmed it. The crew confirmed it. Also confirmed, he gave each of his John Wick 4 stunt performers a personalized Rolex Submariner at the Paris Rap Dinner. Jeremy Marinas posted his watch online. The engraving reads, "The John Wick 5, Jeremy." Thank you, Keanu. Unconfirmed, but widely reported. The story that he gave up his first-class seat to a family on a flight. It has never been verified with a name or a flight number. It is probably true, but we cannot prove it. We will not tell you it happened. What is definitely true? The ice cream receipt story. James Dator, a 16-year-old working at a Sydney cinema, kept that signed receipt for years before sharing it online. The internet loves to exaggerate Keanu's kindness. But here is the thing. The truth does not need exaggeration. Most people who have been hurt build walls. Keanu built a bridge. Let me tell you about the moments he thought nobody was watching. Because the kindness he performs in public, that's one thing. But the kindness when there's no camera, no fan, no audience, that is who he actually is. Moment 1. The Bakersfield bus. 2019. His flight makes an emergency landing in Bakersfield, California. 2 in the morning. Passengers are exhausted, frustrated, stranded. Most celebrities would call a private car and disappear. Keanu got on the shuttle bus with everyone else, pulled out his phone, started reading fun facts about Bakersfield to strangers. Then he played music through a speaker for the entire bus at 2 in the morning for people he had never met and would never see again. Multiple passengers confirmed the story independently. None of them knew each other. Moment 2. The lawn sign. That same year, he is driving to set in Louisiana. His co-writer Ed Solomon is in the car. They pass a lawn with a handmade sign that reads, "You're breathtaking." Keanu stops the car, gets out, gets on his knees on the grass, writes on the sign, "Stacy, you're breathtaking," signs his name, takes photos with the family, gets back in the car, continues to set. Ed Solomon posted the photos on Twitter that day. The homeowner confirmed it. The photos still exist. Those two moments share one thing. He had no audience. That is the pattern. He is kind when nobody is watching, because the kindness is not for show. It is who he became. And then there is the rest of him that Hollywood never quite captured. He co-founded a motorcycle company. He plays bass in a rock band that went on actual tour in 2023. He voiced Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic 3. He appeared uncredited in Severance in 2025. And in 2025, at 60 years old, he made his Broadway debut in one of the most demanding plays ever written.
Is this your Broadway debut?
Yes, it
you know?
is. It
Okay,
is my
so
debut.
Sense of the butterflies before not just opening night, but walking out on stage every night.
Butterflies. Is that like the terror butterflies?
Yeah,
Like
I think
the
it's a
butterfly-
polite way of saying you want to throw up.
And when People magazine asked him for his last moment of bliss, he did not mention an award, a premiere, or a film.
A couple of days ago with my honey, we were in bed. We were connected. It was really nice. We were smiling and laughing and giggling, and it was really nice to be together.
That is the same man who buried a daughter and a partner and a best friend. That is not contradiction. That is survival. Most people would have closed themselves off entirely. He stayed open. That is the beginning of the answer to our question. Now, the question nobody asks. What has he walked away from? 1994. Speed has just made him a global star. Fox offers him $12 million for the sequel. He reads the script. He says no, not because he didn't need the money, because the script wasn't good enough. Instead of Speed 2, he chose to play Hamlet in a small theater in Winnipeg, Canada, for $2,000 a week. Fox was so insulted, they blacklisted him from their entire studio. For 10 years, they thought they were punishing him. They didn't understand that they had given him exactly what he wanted, freedom from their rules. The blacklist ended when he could no longer be ignored. The Matrix happened, Fox lost, Keanu won, and the theater audience in Winnipeg, who watched him play Hamlet for $2,000 a week, had no idea they were watching the future of cinema. He does not have a PR team. He does not have handlers. He does not have someone managing his image. When a reporter once asked why, he looked genuinely confused by the question. That is not a performance. That is a man who does not understand why anyone would need someone else to tell them how to be. Stephen Colbert once asked him the question everyone wants to ask, but nobody quite does.
What happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
The audience laughed at first because the question was absurd, and then they went quiet because the answer was not. Most people, asked about death, talk about themselves, their beliefs, their hopes, their fears. Keanu went immediately to the grief of those left behind, not because it was poetic, because it was personal. That answer is not a philosophy, it is a biography. 6 words that contain a daughter named Ava, a woman named Jennifer, a friend named River, and 3 decades of carrying something that never fully goes away. Back to the bench, 2010, Tompkins Square Park. A man eating a sandwich alone. The photograph is not sad. It is a man thinking about his daughter. She would have been 10 years old that year. But here is what the photograph does not show. 1 hour later, he walked to set, filmed a scene where he had to be funny. And he was funny, because that is what the job required. He does not ask the world to carry his grief. He carries it himself, quietly, daily, and then he gives. He opens his heart to strangers on a bus at 2 in the morning in Bakersfield, to a teenager in Sydney who was too nervous to ask, to stunt performers in Paris who take every fall so he can look good on screen, to 50,000 people at a gaming conference who just needed someone to say it back. He opens his heart, not because it is easy, because he decided, somewhere between the losses, that keeping it closed would be the real tragedy. So here is the answer to the question we asked at the very beginning. Why did tragedy make him kinder instead of bitter? because he decided that the only real response to pain is to make sure no one else feels alone in theirs. He did not survive in spite of his grief. He survived through it and turned it into generosity. The scientists were right. Keanumycin is devastatingly effective, but so is he. Drop a comment. Was there a moment in this that changed how you see him, or just confirmed what you already knew? If this made you feel something, share it with one person. Subscribe for more stories about people who are more than the story we've been told. See you in the next one.